欢迎你回到文茜的世界周报。许多人谈到川普的行为破坏了三权分立，他会不会成为下一个希特勒？而美国会不会成为一个法西斯的国家？著名的美国政治学跟经济学方面领域都是很出色的教授，他任教过于耶鲁大学，还有 Massachusetts 大学，他也曾经在我念书的 New School 里头担任做访问教授。他的看法是，谁是当代的希特勒？这位麻州大学他不认为美国会出现法西斯，他也认为川普不具备希特勒条件。他让大家好好的上一门课，德国怎么在一次世界大战里头战败，然后当时崛起的德国在战败之后却被要求付出他战败的赔偿款，就是著名的凡尔赛合约，这3辈子都还不了。然后没多久之后呢，曾经是繁荣的德国，他面临了 loser， 面临失败，他的中产阶级垮掉了，还要赔这么多钱，然后接着大萧条出现。所以这些客观的环境，美国今天都并不存在。所以他认为说，对川普的批评可以，但是把它比喻成一个法西斯的时代，或者他是一个希特勒，这个基本上是对德国历史的不了解。那他也提到了一件很重要的事情，纳粹已成为过去，可是呢，川普可以号召骄傲男孩清除反对势力，那这种清除是一个可怕的力量，但你不能说这叫做纳粹的社会力量。而 Doge 就是 Elon Musk 前一阵子所造成的 Doge 之乱、移民的危机、全球的关税战，它代表的不是法西斯，也不是希特勒，也不是纳粹崛起了，而是美国帝国崩塌的一个征兆。而美国的外交陷入的孤立，他觉得那是罗马燃烧即将上映。我们来看一下的报道。
谁是当代的希特勒？我们是否正在目睹法西斯的崛起？著名的经济学者 Richard Wolff 以一连串德国的统一、崛起、战败、付不出战争罚款，以及美国的大萧条，促成了希特勒1933年掌权。因此，尽管川普有类似希特勒的行为及语言，需要更大的客观环境才能出现当代的希特勒。
Canada should be our 51st state.
For purposes of national security, he wrote, and freedom throughout the world, the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity.
We will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
马赛诸塞州大学的名誉教授沃尔夫说，美国总统川普这些惊人之语背后代表的意义是，这个帝国正在走下坡。此刻的美国仿佛就是1930年代德国2战爆发前的翻版。
The reason the German story is important is it gives you some sense of some of the pressures he's under. You've got a working class here that is very shocked that there's an empire, that the empire is going to decline. When your country is falling apart, one of the ways you hold it together is to go on a crusade. And the working class is hit in too many ways. It's upset, it's angry, it doesn't see a way out. That's a description of the German working class. That's why it went with Hitler. All of this is under an emperor. Kaiser Wilhelm was the one in power at the time. And he leads them into World War I. They're going to win that battle like they've been winning everything else. They lose. World War I, horrific. The most devastating, destroying factories, railroads, everything. After the war, the Versailles Treaty, which ends World War I, imposes reparations on Germany. The winners are going to make the loser pay for the war. And so Germany is required to devote huge portion of its resources not to build up Germany after the terrible war, but to pay back the French and the British And the French and the British insist on being paid. Why? Because to fight World War I, they had borrowed from the United States. That's why the United States becomes the world power, right there. It funded the World War that crushed its enemies or its potential competitors, and consequently the United States becomes the power because no war was fought here. So the Germans are, after World War I, utterly impoverished. Where does it lead? It culminates in the war is over in 1918. In 1923, 5 years later, Germany experiences the worst inflation in modern human history. In a matter of 8 months, the currency goes from 4 or 5 Deutschmark, that's the name of their currency, to $1, to 5 billion Deutschmark.
That's crazy.
It was too much, and they went crazy. And the proof of it is they turned to a non-German, non-blue-eyed blonde, non-tall person from Austria and said, "You will save us." Adolf Hitler. When does he take power? January of 1933. Right after he collects the catastrophe. In the last 2 elections of 1932, before he takes office, the country split right down the middle. Half went to the old German middle-of-the-road political parties, and the other half split between the Socialist Party and the Communist Party. Why is it similar? Now, here's the parallel. For the last 30 to 40 years in this country, there's been an income and wealth redistribution. Anybody who studies that, left-winger, right-winger, except for a few on the right, understand this. You can take a look at the Gini coefficient. You can take a look at all this status from the IRS and all the rest. We have moved wealth from the bottom and the middle in this country to the top. That's why even our candidates talk about the middle class is dying, the middle class is going. Yeah, that's right. The middle has fallen out. That's why it went with Hitler. Enough, not all of it by a long shot, but enough of it to give him the chance to get rid of all of his enemies and reshape Germany. Is it therefore easier for fascism to come here in some ways? You bet. You bet. If and when Mr. Trump, he hasn't done it yet, but if and when Mr. Trump were to mobilize his partisans, the Proud Boys, folks like that, put them in a uniform the way that Hitler did, and have them terrorize anybody who has a meeting to get rid of the un-American, improper ideology. Now it's a Smithsonian. Tomorrow it'll be what? A rally in Times Square? We already are picking up people whose crime seems to have been that they participated in anti-Israel or pro-Palestinian activities at various universities.
沃尔夫教授接着说，从马斯克的大裁员到美墨边境遣返危机，再到全球关税战，这些也都是帝国崩塌的征兆。
That's the behavior of a drowning person who grabs hold of your swimming trunks because it's just trying to save him. You don't mean to pull off your pants. It's just the way it works. That's a little bit of what I'm thinking. And I can tell you that more and more of the world is looking at the United States now. The United States is a rogue country. It's more and more isolated. It's the United States, Israel, and the Tobago Islands. That's more or less how it goes, right? We're alone. We're alone. Coalition of the willing. It's a joke. There was no coalition. On paper, yes. So it was 200,000 American troops in Southeast Asia and 11 French paratroopers. And 12 British. It's silly. But the silliness now is becoming almost perverse. The Europeans feel they've been turned on, and they are The United States is alone. It's even turned on its neighbors. The joke about the end of the Roman Empire is the Emperor Nero on a balcony playing the violin, which he was good at. But he's not troubled by Rome, it was said, is burning. He's fiddling. Not a bad image. Mr. Trump is fiddling. Rome is burning. You can't, after a while, get too hot. Strings will pop, and your violin won't sound so good. It's a serious, I'm trying to have a little humor in it, but it is, in fact, a very serious situation. And there is not the admission, there's not the recognition. I will tell you that more and more people are asking me to talk because they don't agree with me, but they kind of feel as though they ought to hear it.
You're a symptom of the decline of the American empire.
Absolutely. I'd have to list myself among them. It's not so much me, although maybe that's true too. What I was about to say is interest in what I have to say is a symptom. It's not that I've been saying things that are all that different from what I said 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But now, the number of people,